What's going on, everybody? Hello, YouTube world. Hello, Facebook world. It's your guy, DeMarcus. I appreciate you being here this morning for our morning motivational mix. And this is the Beta Project. You can always find me on YouTube at Humble and Focused, all one word. I am DeMarcus Tunstall. Nice to meet you. And today is July 24th. And that is the right date because I checked. And today's video is a mole behind the shields. And today's quote starts off as, "Nobody ever warned me to stay away from traitors." Miffy or Muffy or Mufa. Whatever. So I want you to close your eyes. Unless you're driving, don't close your eyes. So I want you to imagine this story. You're the captain of a ship and you've got your crew on there. It's like Star Trek, and somehow all of a sudden you see this giant ship come out of nowhere. It comes out of hyperdrive and it sees you and it starts firing, and the first thing you're going to do is you're going to say, "Put up the shields," as a captain, because that's important, because putting up the shields means you're protecting your vessel. You're protecting all the things on your vessel. You're protecting all the good things that. See, the thing is, you have good things on a ship, right? So you got your shields up, right? And then they're firing, and guess what's happening? They're firing all this stuff, and they can't get to you. Why? Because the shields are up. And so that's where we're going to start our story today. So you kind of got that image in your head of a space captain and his ship, and they're firing their phasers, their missiles, whatever they're firing it all, and they've got their shields up. Okay. So we're going to start right there. And remember this quote: "Nobody ever warned me to stay away from traitors." Hi, how you doing? Let's go down. Boom. How you doing? You guys look great today. How do you look so fantastic in the morning? I don't know. But I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming. So let's go ahead and get started so we're not here too long, because you know I'm about to go in and then all of a sudden it's 30 minutes later and I'm still here. I don't really know how that works. But the words are blessed and they come to me, so I'm going to keep it moving. So we're talking about those shields. And so you have the shields up and you're good right now. I mean, obviously, if you keep taking damage, eventually your shields are going to disintegrate based on the way the TV shows depict it. But let's say for this particular situation, the shields are up and they just keep going up and they stay up and they don't come down. The shields are going to block out all the enemy attacks that are coming at this. It could be another ship behind you, and they're shooting, right? So you, in this particular analogy, are the ship, of course. Your body, your mind, it's a ship. You're the captain, you're the leader of your ship, you're the leader of your mind, you're the leader of your body. The decisions that you make will determine the outcome of where the ship goes and where it turns left, where it turns right. I can tell you right now, though, if you don't turn your shields on and your enemies are firing at your ship will be destroyed. Keep that in mind. Whenever you're out there in the world and you don't think you can make it, you got to turn those shields up. You got to be able to block yourself, defense. You got to be able to get away from bad situations. You got to be able to block yourself from bad situations, because otherwise they will destroy you. Okay. So the title of today's story is not "The shields are up." It's a mold is on the shield. A mold is behind the shield, right? So here's the analogy. We've got this guy. We've got this ship that's being fired at right now by these other ships, and they can't get through. But on your ship, there's a guy, one man, and he's there, and he just starts destroying stuff. While the outside enemy is firing at you, he just starts going and destroying your hyperdrive, and he's destroying your capsulating growth maker. He destroys your refrigerator. He destroys all the things on your ship. And so the shields are up, though. Why are we taking damage when the shields are up? What's going on? What, Captain, why are we taking damage? I don't know. Find out what's going on. So inside of the ship, there's a lot going on. He is destroying all kinds of things, planting charges, blowing up stuff, warp drive, hyperdrive, hyper warp drive, hypercube, game cube. He destroyed your game cube. And what I want you to think about is this, ladies and gentlemen. The shields are up, so you shouldn't be taking any damage. But the problem is that mole or that person was on your crew, right? He was there. But the other team, he's a traitor, he's a mole, he's been planted behind the shields by somebody else. The thing is, ladies and gentlemen, this is a big deal, that the mole itself was planted by someone else onto your ship to cause destruction. So before you got your shields up to block the outside attacks, you got an attack from the inside that you didn't even know was coming. And he was laying dormant, blocking, and waiting. He's helping, he's cooking food, he's a cook, maybe, I don't know. He's cooking food for you guys, serving you guys up, nothing's going on until all of a sudden he gets triggered. And then all of a sudden he's wreaking havoc. So the whole point of this, ladies and gentlemen, is this right here. Beware of no man more than yourself. We carry our worst enemies within us. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is true, 100% true, that we can block from outside. But whenever someone's already planted inside of us some damaging thought when we were growing up before we knew how to put our shields up, then that means that there was a mole or a traitor planted inside of us long before we could ever block the attack. So we don't find the mole inside of us, ladies and gentlemen, and then put him in prison or kill him or whatever you got to do to get rid of him, or throw him out the ship. Just take him and just, there you go, bye. And just, he's like, oh yeah, I'm done. So before we can actually destroy the mole, we got to find the mole. Which means that you've got to take stock of who you are and what you believe. And that means that all the things that people have told you over the years, you're fat, you're ugly, you're stupid, you're a bad mom, you're a bad dad, you're a horrible husband, you're a horrible boyfriend, you're a horrible girlfriend, you're not smart enough, you're fat, you're slow, you're an idiot. You're all these things that people are, those are moles that have been planted in us. And they've been there forever. And the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, not only have they been planted in us, but often they start to sound like us. Because moles that have been planted in us by other people take on the voice of ourselves. Just like that guy, the traitor or the mole behind the lines took on the appearance of one of the crew, they take on the appearance and the sound of your voice, so you listen to them. But we can't allow that to happen. So now we've got these moles that have been planted in us since middle school, since high school, since elementary school, since we were a baby, that told us that we weren't good enough. And we've had those and they've been there and they haven't gone away. And now you're being attacked from the inside, which is actually you attacking yourself based on someone else's voice, meaning that there's a mole on the ship. Let's see that quote again. Beware of no man more than yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, it's saying to you that inside of you is the voice that's going to come along. It's going to tell you you're not good enough. Because within ourselves, we carry our enemies, our worst enemies. Why do we know it's our worst enemies? Because our enemies may know who we are, but our worst enemies know our weaknesses. That guy that was on the ship, he knows exactly where to go to place one charge to blow the whole ship up. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't matter that could you imagine being on the outside, you're firing your phasers and you know what's going on inside the ship. You're firing your phasers and you stop firing your phasers, you just cross your arms, and all of a sudden you see the shield, and within the shield, all of a sudden the whole ship explodes in the shield, and then the shield and the ship are gone. That's what's going on in your mind, ladies and gentlemen. You're fighting battles that you don't even know you're fighting, because the person who's talking down to you is you in a voice that sounds like you, that was been planted by somebody else a long time ago. So there's a mole behind the shields. You get it? There's a mole behind the shields. You've got to find the mole. You've got to capture the mole. You've got to throw the mole out the ship. Remember? Bye. Kick him out. Kick him out the ship. And the only way for you to do that is to take stock in yourself, ladies and gentlemen. So, once again, your shields can go up all day long and block outside attack. You can protect yourself from people, ladies and gentlemen, outside of you all day long when you're strong enough to do so. You can protect those people who are going to say, oh, you're fat, you're slow, you're this, you're that, you're ugly, this, that, and that. You can protect yourself from them because now you know exactly what to do. But there's already been a seed or a mole planted, and they're waiting for that time to step up and destroy you. And the ironic part about it, ladies and gentlemen, it is in your voice every single time. That's so big. So keep that in mind. And I'm going to go to the last quote because it's important. This is by my boy E.T. You know I love me some Eric Thomas, man. You know, I really do. He's one of my favorite personal development speakers. If you've never heard of him, go on YouTube and just click in Eric Thomas. My favorite one is Eric Thomas, The Guru Story. And he's going to talk about a guy at the beach. But anyway, so here we go. If there is no enemy within, the enemy without can do us no harm. So imagine, ladies and gentlemen, like we talked about at the beginning, those shields are up. And on those shields being up, there's no enemy. Let's say there's no mole this time. Everybody on your ship is 100% on your team. So if there's no enemy within, then no enemy out without can do us no harm. We got the shields up. They can fire all day long. We don't care. But it's that enemy within that will do the damage because the shield is up and it's protecting him from being killed too, because he's just running around doing all kinds of stuff. So I want to read you something real quick from Eric Thomas's book. We're reading from Average Skill, Phenomenal Will. And it's pretty cool. I got 2 chapters in today. And it says here, let's see, you have to learn how to control yourself and to take care of you in the long run. There's Albert Einstein. You know what? I don't think I'm going to read this. Not today. I don't think I am. So we're not going to worry about this. Yeah, we're not going to worry about this today. Ladies and gentlemen, protect yourself from the traitors that have been planted on your ship. Find out who they are and destroy them. And what I mean by that is find out why you feel that you're fat, ugly, slow. Why does that stick with you? Why do you feel like you can't be loved? Why do you feel like you're not smart enough, not good enough? Why do you feel like nobody wants you around. Why do you feel these things? And go in there and attack them with prejudice, just like you would do if somebody was, a mole on your team, your kickball team for me, or a mole on your business, on your job. You have a mole that's there sabotaging on purpose. Because the thing is, the whole idea of a mole is that they're doing this purposely to just slow down or to stop the progress of what you have. So go and attack these moles with vengeance, ladies and gentlemen, because there's a mole behind the shields. And I don't mean that someone actually brought a physical mole to the party and it's there and it's digging, because moles are blind and they can't see. So it doesn't mean that they are there trying to destroy your party by, digging underground. But an actual person is inside your shields, which means that there's an actual person inside of you, and that person inside of you has usually got your voice. So don't let yourself be the one who destroys you, but instead, go find them. Your shield's already up. You're blocking everything else. Oh, I know I'm pretty. I know but there's something inside of you, ladies and gentlemen, that needs to be found and destroyed. And that's all I have for you to do. There's a mole behind your shields. So go find them. And I'm going to show you that quote one more time. Beware of no man more than yourself. We carry our worst enemies within us. And the last but not least, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do you no harm, ladies and gentlemen. So if you find that enemy within, if you get him and you get him off your ship, no one can do you any harm. And then you have to understand that that enemy within is so powerful that he will take you down. And there's no doubt about that. And the last but not least, nobody ever warned you to stay away from your traitors. It's just as simple as that. You kind of have to find that out on your own. And I'm DeMarcus, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you for being here. I appreciate and I love each and every single one of you. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Happy Wednesday. Go find those traitors and those moles. Kick them off the ship.